Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my 57th Annual Grammy Awards review for tonight, Sunday, February 8th, 2015. Alright, this is my first Grammy review in about 2 years. I missed last year's Grammys Live, so I will, of course, talk about my overall thoughts on the show, talk about the winners of the awards, talk about the performances, and if you've seen all my other reviews, I have my own Zack Attack Awards for the unique moments of the night for Grammys, so I'll be heading those out as well. So there you go with that. See by the subtitle, a lot of things happen as one man's big night could have been a whole lot bigger, as he could have been the first artist since Christopher Cross to win the Big Four: Best Album, Best Song, Best New Artist, and Best Record. But it was Grammy blocked by a guy who, in my mind, should not have won Album of the Year. In my mind, doesn't deserve it. I like the artist who won Album of the Year. I like his stuff, but Album of the Year material, questionable. And also, the show, in my mind, for the first hour and a half, it was kind of bouncy. But the second hour and a half, it was unbearable. With a lot of emotional, powerful songs in a row. Now, I'm a disc jockey. I'm DJ Zack Attack, and I have a little policy in my shows. Don't play 2 slow songs in a row, because it's overkill. Why don't Grammys play like 15 slow songs tonight? Like, I understand music is supposed to move, like some music is supposed to move us in an emotional way, but it's also music that makes us want to move and shake our booties. There was not a lot of that in that last hour and a half. Like every song in that last hour and a half was slow and depressing. It felt like a 3.5 hour public service announcement, because you had Obama there talking about rape, and you had race stuff. Like, I understand the message, but it's like you needed a fast song to break the monotony of the slow songs. And I'm a wrestling fan too, and I hate to say this, this 3.5 hour Grammy Awards was more unbearable to watch than a 3-hour wall. More bloated than a 3-hour wall. Like, I know award shows are more known for more performances than awards, but it was like, the performances were depressing. Despite the monotony of slow songs, there were some good ones that I liked of those slow songs, but it's just, I would have loved to have seen Bruno Mars up there doing Uptown Funk. We needed some more popular songs in the second hour and a half. You mean? In my mind, AC/DC should have ended the show instead of opened it. If we knew that the second hour and a half would have been more emotional and more downbeat, you needed more popular songs to break the monotony of the slow songs. You know what I mean? So it was a mixed night for the Grammys. So let's get to the awards. Let's talk about the big upset first. Sam Smith, big winner tonight. 4 awards tonight overall. He won Best Pop Vocal Album, and he won 3 of the Big 4. Like I said tonight, Sam Smith could have been the first artist since Christopher Cross to win the Big 4. To win Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Album of the Year, and Best New Artist all in 1 year. No one's done it in 34 years. Sam Smith had that chance tonight. He won 3 out of the 4, but was blocked of completing the Big 4 sweep by Beck? What the fuck? Like I said in the beginning, I have nothing against Beck. I like his songs. He's had a long career. I like Loser. I like New Pollution. I like Where It's At. I like Beck's music, including his performance tonight with Chris Martin. But Beck winning Album of the Year over not only Sam Smith, but over Beyonce. Kind of a head scratcher. This is probably the most head scratching Album of the Year winner since Arcade Fire back in 2011. You know what I mean? And like I said, Sam Smith could have won all 4 tonight if Beck didn't win. And this is not Beck's fault. It's the Academy's fault. You think Vince McMahon's out of touch with his audience on wrestling? The Grammy committee members are out of touch. Beck, nothing against him, but it's like love or hate Sam Smith. Love or hate him. You had to kind of feel for him that he almost won. He had a chance to be the first artist since Christopher Cross. Not not the band Christopher Cross, but Christopher Cross. He could have been the first artist since Christopher Cross to win the Big Four in one night. He won 4 awards, but not the Big Four. He's still a big night for Sam, though. But it could have been a whole lot bigger if he would have won all 4 of the Big Four. He could have won 5 tonight, and Beck didn't win Album of the Year. And Iggy Azalea got shut out. I call it the Robin Thicke syndrome, because she had the most overplayed song of the year, and she didn't get a lot of awards for it. Yet Pharrell, whose song was also overplayed, he was the second most awarded artist tonight besides Sam's 4. Pharrell won 3 for Best Traditional R&B Album, Best Urban R&B Album for Girl, winning Best Music Video for Happy, and also Best Pop Solo Performance for Happy as well. So, I like throwing Happy, and it's kind of overplayed. Every time I play Happy, it clears the floor like Taylor Swift's Blank Space did tonight. Last night I danced for me. Besides winning Album of the Year, Beck won another one. He won Best Rock Album, beating Black Keys. I made some predictions. All my predictions were almost right and wrong. Like, I thought Sam Smith was going to win Album of the Year or Beyonce. I didn't expect Beck to win Album of the Year. And I thought Black Keys was going to win Best Rock Album over Tom Petty. But Beck did. Also, there was a lot of other two winners tonight, like people who won 2 awards, in both in the rap category. Half the category was won by 2 guys, Kendrick Lamar and Eminem. 1 year after, in many people's eyes, got screwed out of the Best Rap Album by Macklemore, Kendrick Lamar won 2 awards for his song I, winning Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song. While Eminem proved that experience beats youth any day of the week by winning Best Rap Song Collabo for The Monster of Rihanna and Best Rap Album for Marshall Mathers LP 2. And most of the other people who won us one-time winners. Another upset in my mind was seeing Great Big World win Best Pop Duo Group Performance for Say Something over Fancy and Bang Bang. Kind of weird. And this was deserved. Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album. Need to find it. Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett, Cheek to Cheek. I got the live DVD, but the album's terrific, so is the live performance, as it was tonight at the Grammys. The live DVD is good, so is the performance at the Grammys. I'll get my thoughts on the performances in a second. Then other winners, you had Weatherby, Clean Bennett winning Best Dance Recording. Another head scratcher is Tenacious D winning Best Metal Performance. Like, I love Tenacious D, but they're a comedic band. Covering a Dio song's fine, but they're beating Anthrax and Motorhead and Slipknot. Kind of questionable, guys. Like I said, Grammys have a touch. Also going back to people who won 2 times. Beyonce won 2 times as well. Despite not winning the big one, she won Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song for Drunken Love. Not the biggest fan of it, but people do like it. I like Beyonce, but no one requests her. Country-wise, you had Glenn Campbell was kind of a big winner. A cover of his song Gentle on My Mind by Van Perry won Best Country Duo Group Performance, whereas emotional song from his new movie about his diagnosis of Alzheimer's, I'm Not Gonna Miss You, which is nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song, won Best Country Song. Speaking of Oscars, Frozen, who did big in the Oscars, going back to things that won 2 awards tonight. Frozen won Best Compilation Album from Visual Media and Best Song written for Visual Media, of course, obviously, Let It Go. And going back to country, Miranda Lambert won Best Country Album and Best Music Film. I told you about Best Music Video. Best Music Film went to 20 Feet from Stardom. Great documentary about background singers. Also, Weird Al Yankovic won Best Comedy Album. And Joan Rivers won Best Spoken Word Album. Yet she wasn't pictured in the In Memoriam. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the awards themselves. And I'll get to it. I'll get to this now. One of the most interesting and awkward moments of the Grammys was when Beck won Album of the Year. Kanye West came up, almost pulling a Taylor Swift-like interrupting moment. He came up on stage and winked at Beck and walked off. Now, get the irony of this. The last time Kanye West interrupted somebody, Beyonce was nominated, and he said Beyonce had the best video in the world. 6 years later, he interrupts a guy, jokingly though, it was a joke though, and Beyonce was nominated again. It would have been like, Beyonce had the best album in the world. That was kind of an interesting, awkward moment there. But I know Kanye, it's like, call Kanye egotistical all you want, but it was kind of a joke. Even Jay-Z's face was priceless. When he almost did like he did to Taylor Swift when Beyonce was nominated. So, there you go with that. And also, producer of the year non-classical went to Max Martin. Very successful pop producer. He's produced a whole lot of people. Kind of happy he won. I'm a disc jockey, I'm in the inside know of music stuff. Like, albums do matter, like Prince said. Producers matter too. And Max Martin produced a lot of people. Produced recently Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, but he's also produced and wrote pop songs like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears. So to see him get that recognition was kind of cool. Now, on to the performances. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, there was a lot of slow songs in the later half of the show, and a lot of orchestra music too. I like that stuff, but like I said, a lot of downers tonight. A lot of downers in the last hour and a half. You needed a lot more popular songs in the last hour and a half. If we would have known that the second hour and a half would have been more depressing, felt like a overbloated public service announcement, I would have AC/DC ended the show on a high note. That's where I start my Zack Attack Awards when I come about the performances and everything else. Best opening performance, AC/DC kicked ass in the opener. But like I said, we would have known that the second hour and a half would have been more depressing. I think AC/DC ending the show would have been more happier. After all the monotony of all the slow, emotional message songs, AC/DC at the end would have been more happier. But seeing him open up the show and seeing the industry inside, I was looking forward to that. Because AC/DC is like a metal band and all. And I love him. And I want to see him on tour. And to see him up there in front of all these industry insiders, all these artists, I was waiting to see the reaction to him loving it. They kicked off with Rock or Bust. I was like, I love the new stuff. What can he do a new song? Or rather, can he do an old song? Well, they went to Highway to Hell, and it was awesome. They had Chris Slade. Of course, the big question was who was going to be the drummer, thanks to Phil Rudd's legal issues. Chris Slade, who drummed with AC/DC back in the day on the Razor's Edge album and tour, and known for his Mr. Clean like bald head, came back to the band for the first time in 2 decades to drum for them. I don't know if he's going to be drumming on the tour, but he sounded great and looked great. Still got that bald Mr. Clean look. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. A lot of duets tonight. Best duet though, of all the duets tonight, there was a lot of great duets. Probably my favorite, I'm trying to be biased here, Tony Bennett and Gaga. Because they meshed together. And they were like in that block of monotony and slow songs. Like that, like the last snappy song of the night was Tony and Gaga. Was like the last catchy song of the night. And I love their album. I love their collaboration. They deserve that Grammy. I knew they were a zinger to win because Tony Bennett did win the traditional pop vocal album a couple years ago for his duets album with Lady Gaga in it, doing Lady is a Tramp, which kind of started the whole thing with them recording an album together. And they sounded great tonight. Other duets I liked Ariana. I liked Jessie J and Tom Jones doing You Lost a Loving Feeling. And I say this sometimes during award shows, that I like artists, but I hate the song choices. Like, for example, Ariana Grande. I would have rather seen Ariana do Bang Bang with Nicki and Jessie J tonight, to once again break the monotony of the slow songs. But Ariana's slow song was decent. Like Hold On to Your Heart or something. Speaking of songs about heart and love, most visual performance was Madonna, Living for Love. But was she lip syncing or not? But she had a live mic though. Like she was either lip syncing or singing to a backing track. Who knows the story? But probably some people would say, doesn't matter if it's backing track or not, you're lip syncing. But it was still a cool performance though. I call it mature sexy. Madonna's like going on 56, 57 almost. And she was mature sexy. Like her last album, MDNA, was like she went Oaxaca 2.0, but this performance tonight, it was mature sexy. I like the Matador feel. Kind of felt like a new twist on Take a Bow video was about a Matador, with bulls. It was like a more interesting twist on it, with the man with the twist, man with the bull horns and all that. It was kind of a cool performance. And I'm being biased, kind of, because I'm a huge Madonna fan. I'm a big fan of hers for a long time. So there you go. Other performances I dug. I'm a disc jockey, like I said. And a slow song I've been playing lately has been Ed Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud. I never really played Ed Sheeran before my shows because his songs were just okay. I think I played 18 once. But I like his new slow song, Thinking Out Loud. I played it at 2 shows this weekend and it got very well received. Like, I played in a daddy-daughter dance and seeing the young daughter singing and the dad singing it was cool. And I played in a high school dance too. And I like that slow song. And the video is awesome. And the performance with him doing it with Questlove from the Woots, John Mayer as well, was kind of cool. And then Ed Sheeran came out to do ELO, which leads to another Zack Attack Award. Best Awkward Dance Moment, Paul McCartney. Now ELO came out, Jeff Lynne with this new incarnation of ELO. In my mind, it doesn't matter. In my mind, if you decide to reform a band with not all the original members, if you still have the original voice, that slides. Like Foreigner, they don't have the original lead singer. Styx doesn't have the original lead singer. Well, Tommy Shaw, but not Dennis DeYoung. Obviously, Journey doesn't have the original lead singer. But at least we want a new EL. If there's a new ELO involved, and with all new members that weren't in the original band, but kept the original singer, good enough. They were doing Evil Woman. And during the show, you had a lot of people paying the cameras. Taylor Swift, once again, like every other award show, she dances to every other fucking song. That's what's cool about seeing Taylor Swift at award shows. He always pulls out those great moments. But McCartney did that. Paul McCartney who performed Rihanna and Kanye, which I'll get to that in a second. Paul McCartney was dancing to Evil Woman, and you saw everybody behind him was like not into it. And Paul was like, Evil Woman. And then he was like, then he saw the camera, he was like, oh, I'm sitting down now. And he also looked to see that he was the only one dancing in his section. That was kind of funny. And then ELO kid, Mr. Blue Sky with Ed Sheeran, that was kind of cool. I think this new ELO's doing some shows this year. I would like to see him because I like the stuff. Most powerful performance. With a lot of slow songs tonight, a lot of powerful songs tonight, all in a row. It's tough to nitpick through them all to say which emotional song was the most powerful. That would have to go with Katy Perry, with But for the Grace of God. Now, I saw Obama on there talking about rape and abuse, and that's why I made the comment about the show being a 3.5-hour public service announcement. I thought Obama in the beginning, like not knowing what it was leading to, I thought Obama coming and talking about rape was as big as a buzzkill as the child death commercial from Nationwide during the Super Bowl. But then they added the domestic violence survivor, introduced Katy Perry, who performed at the Super Bowl halftime show. She went from having a spectacular, in-your-face show that relied on poppy songs to going all ballad. Now, Katy's not best known for ballads, but this performance tonight, add to the build-up of being, domestic violence message, and the lyrics was kind of powerful. And I like the performance itself. You went from a big to-do, a big spectacle of a show to just laid back setting with just her singing behind a backdrop of shadow dancers behind her. It was kind of elegant. And I like the red carpet dress too. But the lyrics made sense with all that build-up with Obama coming in and talking about domestic violence. The lyrics made sense. When I knew that it was leading up to Katy's performance, I forgave Obama for a buzzkill. Because, for the grace of God, I lit myself up. It was an uplifting message. But like I said, there was too many songs like that. Too many emotional songs. You needed at least a bouncy song to lift people up. Like I said, music can move us emotionally. But balance it with songs that can move our butts. That's the thing. It was an uneven balance tonight. That's what I'm trying to explain. There was more slow, emotional, mid-tempo slow songs than uppity dance songs. Like I said, we want songs to emotionally move us and to move our asses. And like I said, the balance was uneven. Best new interpretation of a song. Pharrell's "Happy." It was kind of weird for the first few seconds. He was like speaking the lyrics. I was like, I don't know, I don't like where this was going. It had like people singing speaking the lines in different languages. But then it went back to the original version with a classical twist on it. I like that arrangement. I like that twist. So even though a song is overplayed, I still like it though. Pharrell had a big night last year, and he had a weird, he had like short pants tonight. He didn't wear like a big hat like he did last year. But still, that was interesting. Other, I said Katie was the best powerful performance, but other performances that almost were as powerful was Hozier and Annie Lennox. Now, like Katie giving Missy Elliott some shine on after being gone for a while, like Annie Lennox got some shine on from Hozier. The voices meshed with Tammy the Church, a very powerful song. And then they turned it into "I Put a Spell on You" that Annie covered on a recent Nastasia album of Standards. And that was a little cool thing. And of course, it was about as powerful as seeing a little powerful performance besides Hozier and Annie Lennox and Sam Smith. Now, I wish even though I wish Sam Smith did more bouncy songs, like he did on that song "Latch" with Disclosure, I still like his powerful songs. Like I said, I have nothing against powerful slow songs, but have them at a minimum. Don't have them overtake the entire hour and a half. Sorry, I sound like a broken record. But his performance of "Stay With Me" Mary J. Blige and the arrangement with the orchestra, a lot of orchestra music. You notice like almost half the performances had strings. It's kind of weird, but it's cool at the same time. But that performance from "Stay With Me" is probably my favorite from Sam's yet. And it's just with the fact that he had to cancel a show in Seattle this past week with voice trouble. You couldn't tell he canceled a show in Seattle because his voice was still strong as ever. So there you go with that. Other decent performance. Kanye's performances wasn't that bad. His first performance of "Only You" was interesting, like the dimly lit arena with just a big spotlight on him, kind of emotional song. And also his performance with Rihanna and Paul McCartney later doing 4 or 5 seconds. Now I'm starting to warm up to it. Speaking of Rihanna, speaking of people who need to put more boppy, dancey songs out, Rihanna's been downer lately. Like the last couple of singles have been slow songs, like "Stay," which I don't mind. But this song too, she needs to come back with a bouncy song. But this song, 4 or 5 seconds, I didn't like it at first, but I'm starting to warm up to it. And I like the live version. Minimal lighting, minimal staging. It was kind of a cool emotional song. But like I said, there was too many emotional songs. Most unneeded performance, Wands. Sorry, I'm not racist or anything, but it's just a Spanish performance. I know you wanted some variety in there. Needed some bilingual stuff, but Wands was kind of unneeded. We wanted a catchy song. We wanted it in English, kind of, but I liked it, but it was kind of unnecessary, almost. Best standing ovation for just appearing for 5 seconds doing a harmonica solo. Stevie Wonder came out to doing a harmonica solo doing Usher's interpretation of his song, "This Is Magic." Kind of cool. Adam Levine and Gwen Stefani. Now, I would have loved to see him duet to like "This Love" mashing up with one of Gwen's songs. But the slow song was like "My Heart's Open" from Maroon 5's recent album 5 was just okay, like kind of like emotional. But that was like the first hour and a half. At least the first hour and a half had more bouncier songs. It was like in the first hour and a half, the balance between slow songs and bouncy songs was about even. You had like AC/DC in there with Madonna and Miranda Lambert. Best country performance was definitely Miranda Lambert's song. Little Red Wagon's kind of trangy and rocky at the same time. Kind of like that song. But like I said, the last hour and a half, there was an uneven balance between the amount of slow songs and the amount of fast songs. Best kind of weird performance, I had to go to Sia. Now, Sia is a singer-songwriter who's wrote songs for other artists that most people don't know about unless you're me, a disc jockey who's in the know. And Sia, if you've probably seen Sia's performances on television shows, you don't see her face. She's her head back, like she's like this to the camera. And tonight, she said there would be a guest to perform with her. Well, that guest was Christian Wig performing as a dancer with a little girl. It was kind of a weird performance, though. So it was kind of interesting, weird. Um, then you had Beyonce ending the show with Common and John Legend ended the show, but then Beyonce came out with another song. It was okay. I like Beyonce singing, but she hasn't had any. Speaking of people who haven't had any bouncy songs lately, her last really good song to me was "Single Ladies." Sorry, that's just my opinion. "Drunk in Love," I don't like it. I can't play it because it's about drunk. You know, it's too sexy to play at high schools. Although people did request Beyonce to be at my dance last night, I didn't like the song they requested. You know, I could have played "Single Ladies," but still. Um, but like I said, the last hour and a half was tough, was unbearable. I've I've been watching the Grammys for like 20 years, almost 20 years. Like my first real Grammy memory of really watching the Grammys was watching the 1996 Grammys, where Lance Morissette won all those awards. But of all the Grammys I've seen, it's like I said, the most kind of almost depressing Grammy show. Because like I said, the last hour and a half was unbearable. You know, because like I said, it was an uneven balance of bouncy songs and sad songs. That's we know. Like I said, I have nothing against slow songs. I have nothing against mid-tempo songs. I have nothing against emotional, powerful performances. But there was too many of them in a row. Like I said, you need to break it off with like a. I would have loved to have seen Taylor Swift perform "Shake It Off." I would have loved to have seen Megan Trainor do "All About That Bass." Would have loved to have seen Mark Watson and Bruno Mars do "Uptown Funk." Like I said, to break the monotony of too many fucking powerful performances in a row. You know, like I said earlier when I was presenting my fake award for best powerful performance, it was tough to pick that because there was too many of them. Too many powerful, emotional. I'm emotional. I'm sending a message. You know, like too many of those. Too many preachy songs. That's what I'm trying to say. Nothing against them, but there was like too many of them. Whoa. Because I'm, like I said earlier, I'm a disc jockey. And my golden rule is don't play two slow songs in a row. It's overkill. Yet this is way overkill. Like 15 slow songs in a row. You know, they needed a bouncy song to balance it out in that last hour and a half. So there you go. And I'm surprised that Album of the Year was presented early. Usually Album of the Year ends the show. Two reasons why I think they presented Album of the Year early, which was presented by Prince, by the way. That was cool seeing him. Because he presented Record of the Year to Goatee a couple years ago. Two reasons why I think they presented Album of the Year early. Like at 10:40. One, because no one cares about albums anymore. No wonder my Record of the Year ended the show because it's a single base war now. Everyone likes singles, not albums. No wonder my Record of the Year ended the show instead of Album of the Year because albums don't matter to most people anymore. Really, I did like Prince's statement like albums still matter, and so does Black Lives. Once again, overbloated PSA. That's my opinion on the second half of the show. And the second reason why I think they had the Album of the Year last, besides the fact that albums don't matter to most people anymore, is because I think they knew Sam Smith was going to lose that award and prevent him from, like I said, winning the big four in one night: album, song, record, and best new artist, preventing him from being only the second artist first since Christopher Cross. So there you go with that. On that little note, that is it for my review of the Grammys. And I hope the other award shows aren't as more downbeat. Like VMAs aren't as downbeat. Like VMAs were fun. Like VMAs are a fun show. The ACMs are a fun show. But Grammys, as I said, it was like downbeat for the last hour and a half. And I love AC/DC's opening and all, but I think they should have closed it. If we would have known that half the show was going to be slow songs all in a row, AC/DC should have ended the show instead of beginning. You know what I mean? Like I said, the first hour and a half was balanced. Like they had a good balance of slow songs and bouncy songs, but it was a lot more slow, powerful, emotional songs in that last hour and a half. They made it more bearable. I would not be surprised if there was more ratings for The Walking Dead tonight. I don't watch Walking Dead. I stuck with the Grammys. I stuck it through. Because like I said in the beginning, I made it through the Grammys, but I barely survived the last hour and a half. Because like I said, it was more unbearable to watch this 3.5 hour Grammys than it is to watch a 3 hour walk. It's more bloated than a 3 hour walk. That's saying something. In Grammys, here's 2 lessons you need to learn out of this. Be more in touch with the music. Don't give the album of the year to someone that'll make people scratch their head. Like, Best New Artist winners made people scratch their heads for the last couple years. Like Esperanza Spalding, Bon Iver. Who the fuck are them? But album of the year head scratcher? Bad move, Grammys. Hope you get more in touch, but it's tough. It's like Vince being out of touch with wrestling. You know, if Roman Reigns were in the Royal Rumble. It's not Roman Reigns' fault, it's the booking. Same with this situation. It's not Beck's fault he won. The people who voted are to blame. And another thing Grammy needs to learn. More bouncy performances next year. More upbeat songs to balance out having too many slow songs all in a while. That's my opinion. That the Grammys need to change. So there you go. LL Cool J is still a decent host though, but still. They need to work on getting more bouncy songs in the performances to balance out between the amount of slow songs and the amount of bouncy songs. So I keep saying it, but I need to make that point across. I also end with my favorite outfits for the night. End with kind of awkward way to end with best dress. I like Katie's red carpet dress, all glittery and shiny. I liked Taylor's dress. He always looks awesome. And I like her little blue gown. Rihanna's dress was kind of cool and weird. And I like Gaga's dress too. It was kind of cool on red carpet, so there you go with that. Megan Trainor's dress, I liked it, but it looked like lingerie you would wear to bed. You know, it looked like sleepwear, like lingerie wear. But it was kind of interesting, though. So there you go with my opinions on the Grammys tonight. Thank you all very much for bearing through this review like I bared through the 3.5 hour show. With that in mind, y'all have been attacked by the Grammy review from Zach. Thank you very much. See you all later. Oh, yeah.